lovelies. It is a dreary August day, but that's okay. We are going to make today some stuffed pepper soup. Now, if you're new, I'm Chrissy, and this is Chrissy Cooking at Home. If you like any of my videos, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can know when I do post a new video on something, cooking, baking, canning, dehydrating, something food related. Big food person. But the stuffed pepper soup, I'm making a huge batch because I want to can it. But this video is going to be about making the soup, not canning the soup. So I will chop up my peppers and my onion that I have. I've already stuck my beef in the pot. And then I'll bring you back and show you everything, and I will try to measure my seasonings as we go, but I don't have a recipe. I'm just kind of throwing things in the pot seasoning wise. I don't have a recipe. Just throwing things in the pot that I know are approved for canning, which is seasonings, and kosher salt. And then I have diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste. I think that's everything. So I'm not putting rice in it because I'm canning it. When I open a jar to eat, I will make some rice to have then with it. You hear my pressure canner going. I have another project. I'm trying out a different thing. But that's for another day, if it turns out. So on to making the soup. I'm going to chop up my bell peppers and my onion, and I'll bring you back because that's kind of boring. Okay, so I diced all my vegetables, just green bell peppers, 5 of them. They were pretty big, and a very large yellow onion that I had gotten from Sam's Club. So that's all done. And then I went ahead and did some beef broth up, just bouillon and water. So I have about 6 cups of that. I gathered up my tomato products. So I have diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and tomato paste. Then I have a lot of seasonings here that I may or may not use all of them. We got oregano, parsley, rosemary, thyme, cayenne pepper, crushed pepper flakes, garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, Italian seasoning, basil, bay leaves, and then kosher salt. I'm not sure if I want to use anything else. Okay, we'll just get started, and I'll taste and see as we go. You are right in front of my spices, so I'm kind of looking around at all my different seasonings and spices and see. We may add some cider vinegar or soy sauce or both. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm gonna move my canning things though, my funnel and my ladle. All right, so I'm gonna bring you down. I did can leftover tomato sauce from a number 10 can twice for 2 different projects. So I have several 8-ounce jars of tomato sauce. I pulled out 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. I don't know if I need 8 of them. And then I have 2 very large 28-ounce cans of petite diced tomatoes. And I like tomato paste, but I like it in moderation. So this is a really big pot of stuff. So 1 can. If we use it, we're going to use it. We're going to use the whole can. So I have 4 pounds of ground beef. I have 6 cups of beef broth, 5 bell peppers, 1 yellow onion, very large yellow onion. If you've got like regular onions, I'd do like 2. If you got small onions, maybe like 3 or 4. But this was huge. I mean, it's like bigger than a grapefruit. So I'm going to bring it down and see if we can give you a better view of what's going on. I'm going to show you stuff first. Okay, so here is, I just threw in one of my big bowls, my bell pepper and my onion, because I'm going to cook it all together with, ta-da, 4 pounds of ground beef defrosted in the pot. This is my 12-quart stock pot. We have 6 cups of this. We have all that tomato product back there. And then seasonings and spices all around the coffee pot. And a can opener. So we will see. And like I said, I do want to can this. That's why I'm making so much. But I did pull out my measuring spoons. I'm going to measure the seasonings as I go. I'm going to taste it as I go and add more or less, because if we like it canned, I want to know exactly what I did, instead of my usual cooking, which is throw it in the pot and no measuring. So, okay, fire on. Let's get this party started. All right, so I have the raw ground beef is in. I'm going to cook it about halfway because I did not get lean beef. This is 80-20, so it's going to have grease. So I need to get out the colander and the bowl to drain it. Bowl, colander. That way, no grease goes down the drain. No. Bad. And then once it cools, toss it in the garbage. Yeah, I mean, lots of seasonings and stuff. As you can see, I have my regular seasonings I keep on the counter because I use them so much. I know it's backwards to you, but it says pure, finely ground Ravenclaws. And then I labeled what it actually is. Yeah, isn't that cute? And this is ground bone preserves. Your oregano. And these are dark glass bottles with cork tops. That way they stay fresh and warm since they're out on my counter. And then I recently got this. You've seen this in other videos. But witch's grade poison. This is my kosher thing. Isn't that the cutest? It's just the cutest. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to need all that tomato sauce. My goal is to get 6 quarts to can and the rest for dinner tonight. Or I may can it all up and we'll have something else for dinner tonight. I fly by the seat of my pants. By the seat of my pants sometimes. Put that there. Alright, so I do want to use both cans of diced tomatoes. I know that much. So why don't we go ahead and open those, Chrissy? That's a good idea. Alright, come on, lid off. Lid off. Ooh, tomato paste is really sucking that lid down. Alright. Tomato paste. So I'm going to get this cooked down a little bit. I'm going to open some of my, good seal, some of my home canned tomato sauce jars. I think I'll open 4 to start with. I have 8 here, like I said, but I want to use both cans of diced tomatoes, so I have some chunks of tomatoes, even though they're petite diced. I wanted small, but what I really want is big pieces of bell pepper. So, be right back when it gets less boring. Okay, so I'm bringing you back real quick because the beef is right where I want it to be to drain it. I only wanted it partially cooked, not all the way cooked, because I want some fat when I throw in the bell pepper and the onion, but I don't want a ton. And since it's 80-20, I'm not used to 80-20, but it's hard finding 90-10 right now, so get what I can get, and it was a good price. So I'm going to drain. It just looks like such a... There's just so much, but it's not fully cooked. You can see there's still some pink. So we're going to drain this and then throw in our veggies. Be right back. Okay, what you missed. I dumped the ground beef out into the colander, which is sitting in a bowl, and then I went ahead and I left it in the colander to kind of drain. I stirred it a little bit to help it. I threw the onion and the bell peppers in the stock pot, and then I'm going to put the beef on top and stir. This is just my beef broth. Use a pot filter first and it's hot. And that's a smart idea. Oh, it's big. I need a bigger pot though. I'm looking into getting a 16 quart because of my canning projects. 12 quart's good. 8 quart, that's good for some things, but I'd love to get a 16 quart. And I will, eventually. We're saving up for something else right now, so we will get there. I got a little open happy with this, and I opened 5 jars of tomato sauce, so 5 8-ounce jars. In my opinion, these 8-ounce jars actually have more sauce in them than the 8-ounce cans at the store. So, we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to saute this up just a little bit. Not much. I'm not worried about getting the vegetables tender yet. It'll do that as it simmers and bubbles and boils away. And what a perfect day for soup. It is going to be a little warm today, but it's rainy. And it just looks dreary. So it's kind of like one of those, the way it looks outside, it's soup day, even though it's going to be nearly 80. So it's still August. August 21st, 2022. There, that's the date of the video. August 21st, 2022. I'll post this in a few days though, so it won't be posted on that day. I'm still working on editing another video. Alright, that's sizzling. The peppers are hot. Next, we're going to add our tomatoes. Petite diced tomatoes. Alright, into the pot. Everybody in the car. Rinse these for recycling later. I'm not sure if I need all 6 cups of broth. So, we're going to start with our tomato paste. Right, 1, 2, 3. How many jars did I open? I said 4. And I ended up doing 6. That's smart, Chrissy. I know. Alright, 1 whole 6-ounce can tomato sauce. There's that for recycling. I'm going to give that a good stir. Get that tomato paste all spread out with the meat and the veggies. Now, usually I would do fresh garlic pressed, but it is, like I said, rainy, so it's kind of a high pain day, and I don't want to exacerbate it by using the press because it can be hard for me sometimes to use the press. Okay. This is not going the way I want it to. Alright, we're gonna have to do this we're gonna have to come at this a different way. This is way too much. For canning. I'm gonna need way more broth, I think. Alright, so next we'll do broth. Put that over there. 6 cups. That's not enough. We might be having stuffed pepper soup for quite some time. Alright, well, stir that down, Chrissy. And that was beef broth. You can use chicken broth. You can use vegetable broth, turkey broth, whatever broth you got. Alright, this is a very nice, thick, chunky soup right now. I don't know about canning this. I'm going to have to research it, which is why this is not a canning video. This is making a huge, big old pot of unstuffed pepper soup. Okay, 1 8-ounce jar. This is good. I needed these jars for another project I have lined up. Put it in the water. So I'm going to get the sauce in before I add the water and more bouillon. I don't have any broth canned. I am very much into meal canning right now instead of ingredient canning. I do have ingredients canned, just like right at the moment. Very into this meal idea. Very. Okay, so that was 3 8-ounce jars of tomato sauce. I don't know how much that would really be in those little cans, because I swear this is more than what's in those little cans. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's fine. It's just, I've never felt like it's actually 8 ounces in the little cans of tomato sauce. Okay. We'll do one more. So that's 4. This handle gets hot. That's why I'm kind of holding it this way. Just trying to keep it steady. This is going to be overflowing. I really need a 16 ouncer. Okay. I'm going to have to look up the USDA's home food preservation for how thick this is and see what they recommend for canning time for quarts. All right, so we used 3 cups, 3 more cups, so 9 cups. Oh my gosh, you can totally cut this down, write down what I'm saying as I'm saying it, rewind, that's what I do. Rewind, pause, whatnot. Bouillon cubes is what I'm doing at the moment. This is a better consistency, it's not as thick. Now if you were to put rice in with this, it would get thicker because that rice, even though if you cook it first, will soak up the liquid. It's like pasta, it'll just soak it up. Alright, get off me. Alright, that's in the party. I'll show you where we're at, and then we're going to start adding seasonings. If there's room. See how full that is? It's crazy. I went crazy. I'm still new to this canning thing. So I don't want to like super can. Like I don't want to can 20 jars. I don't want to can 20 jars of the same things. I just want to can like 4 to 6, maybe 8, depending on what it is. All right. I need spoons. Because after this simmers for a while, and I have this up on high heat now, I'm not going to add any more water. This is fine. So, measuring spoon, kosher salt. Because it's such a big pot, 2 tablespoons. That's where we're starting. 2 tablespoons of witch's grade poison, aka kosher salt. Okay, dried parsley. We're gonna do 3 tablespoons. I love dried parsley. Okay, that was like a heaping. Okay, so 3.5 tablespoons of Ravenslaw, aka parsley. All right, oregano. It's good stuff. We're gonna do 3 heaping tablespoons, maybe a little more. Oregano. Trying, guys. Throwing in. Okay, granulated garlic. We're gonna do 6 because it is such a big pot, and I'm not doing any fresh. 3, 4, 5, 6. Basil. Yes, please. 2 tablespoons. Basil. Sweet basil, dried, not the fresh. I have some fresh, but I'm not going to use it. All right, so I'm not going to use rosemary. I am not going to use thyme because I am going to use Italian seasoning, which has rosemary and thyme. So we're going to do 4 Italian seasonings. 1, 2, 3. See, 4. See, it's also got marjoram and savory and basil and oregano. So we get a little extra basil, a little extra oregano. Yeah, it's fine by me. We got onion powder. Just because it adds a different onion depth to it when you use powder versus fresh. Do 1 tablespoon of that. Don't fall out. I knew that was going to fall out. Alright, Mrs. Dash, stay. Stay. Alright, so, black pepper. 1 even tablespoon. I'm not going to do any cayenne, but I am going to do crushed. But I'm not going to do that much. So if you're like making a smaller batch, I would do like a pinch, like 3 or 4 of these little buddies here. I'm doing a teaspoon, a whole teaspoon for this giant pot of stuff. All right, we did basil, put that next to the Lowry's. Okay, bay leaves. I will put those in a minute. You gotta see this. How I do my seasoning. Just pile it all in here. Alright, give it a good stir. So this is the consistency that I have it at, and this is good for us. And then what we will do is, instead of putting rice in this, is we will spoon or ladle some over some rice. That's how we normally do it, because I learned I don't like it when the rice absorbs all the liquid. And if I had any more room, I'd probably add more water. But we're going to try and keep this from reducing and just let it develop some flavors so I can taste it. And then after I taste it and I get it where I want, I will then can it. But I will set some aside for our dinner, because that's what we're having for dinner today, is unstuffed pepper soup, because I love stuffed peppers. Love stuffed peppers. So I will bring you back when it's simmering, bubbling, and I've tasted, and if I've added anything else. Once it starts to simmer and bubble, no, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to go ahead and stick in 5 bay leaves. Before I can it or serve it, I will take them out. But I'm going to put in 5 bay leaves because it's a really big, maybe 6 bay leaves. No. Go ahead and do 6 bay leaves. Sugar. Be right back. To help with digestive issues when it comes to tomatoey products that Logan and I have, a little sugar can help. So I'm going to do a tablespoon, 1 whole tablespoon of sugar. Stir that in. I did 3 teaspoons, which is 1 tablespoon. So stir that in. And then I'm going to just push down some bay leaves, put the lid on it, let it come up to a simmer. It's starting to steam a little bit, so it shouldn't take long. I have it on high, and I have it on one of my super burners. I'll bring you back. I'm going to bring you back now and show you that I did do some things off camera. I added a 1/4 cup of cider vinegar. I also added the other 3 cups of water, no more bouillon, and I added the other 2 jars of tomato sauce that I had opened on accident. And now it is up to see, it's barely bubbling and totaling, because you can see how full the pot is. I mean, it's to the brim. To the brim. So I'm going to have plenty for dinner and plenty to can up. I think I need to get more jars ready than the 6 I got ready, because I think I'm going to be canning more than 6 jars. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of this soup out and put it in my 8-quart stock pot and let it continue to cook until it's dinner time. So basically simmer and meld and get all those flavors together. Right now, in a raw state, the flavors are right where I want it to be, because I added the tomato sauce and the water and the vinegar. So it's perfect for my taste, for what I want to do, for what my family's going to eat, or really what my sweetheart's going to eat, because we know Logan's not going to eat this. He's going to eat something else, either Alfredo or mac and cheese or something like that. But Al and I will enjoy this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to let it simmer. It is noon now. I'm going to let it simmer until dinner time. And we usually eat dinner pretty early. We're not normal, because I go to bed really early, because I get up really early. I can't help it. So we usually eat dinner between 4 and 5. So it's been simmering now for about 10 minutes. It is 11:55 a.m. So I'm going to let it simmer on the stove, stirring occasionally so it doesn't scorch, because it is tomato, for 4-5 hours. And then I'm just going to turn it off and leave it on the stove for when we're ready for dinner, because it'll still be hot. in 4 hours. I'm turning it off in 4 hours, and we'll eat within 4 to 5 hours. So within an hour of turning it off, we'll eat. And I don't know if you can hear my microwave. I have my rice cooking. I have one of those Pampered Chef steamer things, you know, that go in the microwave. They're black with a white lid. I have a really old one. It's about 20 years old. So it's got a 2-piece lid, but it's big. So I'm cooking up 2 cups of rice, which will turn into 4 cups of rice, because Logan, like I said, will not eat this, but he will eat some rice. He loves rice. Oh, now it's coming. You see it moving? Bubbling and toiling. You know what I need? You know, can I paint this black and call this my cauldron? Maybe I can find a 16-quart stock pot that's black, and I can call that my cauldron. Right now I'm stirring it with my giant wooden spoon, because, you know, you don't want it to scorch. And with tomato, see how big this spoon is? It's gonna drip on me. Oh well. See how big this spoon is? Cover my eye like an eye patch. That's not an optical illusion. That is how big this is. It just barely fits in my spoon rest. You can see my spoon rest there. Standard spoon rest, got it at the Dollar General. That's how long the spoon is. Reaches almost all the way from wall to counter. Amazon find. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling and boring you to death. That's what I did. I'm gonna can it. Probably not going to do a video on canning it. It's Rebel canning. I didn't follow anybody's recipe for this. I didn't follow any guidelines for this, but I am going to look up on how long I should let something like this process. And I'm guessing 90 minutes, but I'll have to look just to be sure. I think the home preservation website has a soup recipe like this. I'm not sure. Well, I'll go watch some other YouTubers who are doing this unstuffed pepper soup in jars, see what they do, how they do it. I just did seasonings my way and consistency my way. What suits us. Wish me luck. See you next time.